do we start the podcast off without Shar here? And that'll be the intro we use. Let's go with this as we're talking about it.
What are we doing?
I don't know how podcasts work. I've never had to think about it before. I just
know.
Talk. I'm just ahead.
Our fearless leader is gone. We're so lost without him. What do we do?
I think this is only the second time it's happened. And the first time I was like, the tyrant's gone, we're free! So, doing the opposite of that.
Oh, jeez. Now we're like, oh no, what do?
And he's like, the tyrant's back on the next week. I'm like, oh man.
The next
you
one,
listened to it? Oh, jeez.
Oh, guys. Are you guys listening? Oh, gee, Rick.
Cool, but no, this is episode 119 of the Play on Ultra podcast. It is a Foe and Sarah exclusive.
Yeah!
Which means it's better.
You get to hear from us. Our real thoughts.
Our real thoughts without that censoring tyrant.
Yeah, censoring tyrant Shar over there trying to prevent us from saying our real words, which is
video games are stupid.
Yeah, they suck. I hate video games. The worst. Hate them all. Oh, jeez. Hi, everybody. In case you're wondering why I look like this, is because I was at a Halloween party and tried to dress up as Scarlet Witch. I don't know if that worked, but, you know, it is what it is. So that's cool. I haven't been here for a while. It's felt like forever.
You've been acting, right?
Yes, I was in, this has nothing to do with video games, but that's okay.
It's what you did this week. It's relevant.
Yeah, it's relevant, yeah.
Weeks.
Weeks past, yeah. I was in a play called The Laramie Project, which is about it's very serious and not happy story about events that happened in Laramie, Wyoming, which it was about hate crime, because for those who don't know, it's the story of Matthew Shepard, who was a gay man who was basically tortured and died due to homophobia. And so it was a whole play. It's a play about the town of Laramie where it happened and people's viewpoints and stuff like that. So very serious, very sombering. Everybody cried every night. It was fantastic. I haven't done acting in a while, so that was really cool.
That's serious acting.
Yeah, serious acting. I've actually never done a true drama before. Most of my stuff that I did acting, it was usually in comedies or musicals, and so it was pretty cool to see how I could make that work. But yeah, I miss acting. I mean, that's part of the reason I did YouTube in the first place was because I like being that kind of presence, and so it was kind of cool to get back to the roots of those. So yeah, acting's fun. But yeah, that's why I was gone for the past 2 weeks, because we had shows Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the past 2 weeks. So that was exhausting.
How long before that were you rehearsing?
We started rehearsing end of August. So not super long, months. Actually. Yeah, it was about 2 months worth, but not super long, actually.
Right, I mean, because it's not like your full-time rehearsing. It's kind of like your after-hours rehearsing.
Yes, it was 3 days a week from like 6 to 10, basically. Part of the reason I was also late on Friday nights sometimes, because I had practiced on Friday nights.
Yep.
So part of the reason that happened. But yeah, no, it's because it's community theater, so everyone's got day jobs. They're just, no, we're not getting paid to do this. We're doing it for fun.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was
good. It was fun. Not serious. Nobody cried. It was good.
Nobody cried. Everybody's fine. But yeah, so that was my week. And then next weekend, I'm going to be gone again because I'm going to YomaCon in Detroit. My brother is pushing for me. It's basically one of the biggest anime conventions in Michigan.
Does Yoma mean something, though?
No, it's just fake Japanese. Okay. Their symbol is the yen symbol for some reason.
Yen? Oh, the money. Got it.
The yen money symbol. I don't know why. I don't think they understand what it means, but hey, it's fine. But yeah, that's where I'll be. My brother wants me to try to take videos of it for my channel, so I might do that. We'll see if that works out. I'm currently on video hiatus for a bit, just because of the play and other personal issues and time and personal stuff in my life. So getting back into the swing of things. But,
are you watching any cool anime, or have you watched any cool anime recently?
I actually watched. Funny you should ask. So this is an old anime. But a friend of mine's trying to get me into it. I'm finally starting to watch Hellsing. So jumped on that bandwagon.
I haven't
finally.
Seen it.
Okay, yeah, it's only
the vampire hunter in like World War II, or is that a different one?
I don't know if it takes place in World War II or not. Oh no, it does. Sorry, yes, it totally does. Yes,
I remember Nazi zombies.
Yes,
of course.
There are Nazis. I'm not far enough to know that they're Nazis yet, but at the same time I'm watching it, I'm also watching the abridged version, and they just tell you outright it's Nazis. So yes, I already know, spoiler alert, that there's Nazis in it. But yeah, very, I mean, the guy who made that anime is known for making hentai as well, and you can kind of tell just by the way that the designs are, but they're very creepy. The designs are very, like, creepy and very unnerving, but it's good. It's definitely bloody and... Yeah.
This is such a cliche thing, but I'm definitely kind of a sucker for a protagonist who's in a big cloak with, like, one giant gun. Like, Trigun, or, like, Bebop's kind of the same, like, a dapper suit and a like, just the one pistol, tight clothes, or not tight, like, in clothes, but tight as in...
I totally understand. Yeah, and he's even got the big hat, too, Alucard. Yeah, his design's pretty awesome. His English voice actor is just melted butter.
Is it Bloom, whatever his name is?
It might be Steve Bloom. I don't actually know who his voice actor is. Hellsing voice actor Alucard. Because it's Dracula backwards. Oh, no, it's Crispin Freeman. But I've heard of him before. Where have I else
heard that name before as well.
Yeah, he's been in stuff. I just can't remember what else
If I Google Crispin Freeman, Hellsing is the first thing to just... Oh, he's been in a lot of stuff. He's just been in a lot of anime stuff, like Howl's Moving Castle, Grave of the Fireflies, Last Exile. He's in the Young Justice show.
Oh, is he? What is he in Young Justice?
He is...
he's in Steven Universe.
He's
Speedy. Oh, really? He's Speedy. Interesting. I would have never guessed that. He's very... I mean, you have to be very talented to be a voice actor.
Yeah,
very prolific. I only say that because Speedy's voice is low, but Alucard's is like melted butter low, you know?
I see. It's low but smooth.
Exactly. I was going to say makes the ovaries sing, but that's a little weird to say on the channel. That's okay.
He's in some anime called The Big O.
No, it's great. But yeah, it's definitely
I don't know what it is,
interesting.
I don't know.
But very bloody if you're into that kind of thing. It's also like forever old, so I mean that's the thing. But it's pretty great. It's
cover, I do that all the time.
Definitely entertaining. So yeah,
that's kind of how
that's been
I find
anime.
new anime.
Yeah. Trying to think if there's any other anime I have been watching lately. I'm pretty bad at watching anime in general. Did you watch any anime the past week or a couple weeks since I've been here?
I finished I watched, I think I might have mentioned this when you were here, but in case I didn't, I did watch that ping pong animation show, which was good. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I liked it.
Did you like it?
It was weird. It definitely, like, it's not like a lot of other anime in terms of animation. Like, the art style is just super different. Like, it almost looks rotoscoped. So
yeah,
I can easily see that being off-putting. But I found like this sounds pretentious. Like, the message of the anime was really cool, I thought.
Okay.
It wasn't super predictable, and I really liked the music. So those two things made it good. That
helps.
Yeah, and then I finally watched like the last 3 episodes of Hajime no Ippo. But now that means I need to actually go watch the movies, because the anime doesn't end like on any... There's no closure, and like the final episode's like a flashback, and like, well, what about the present? There's always some movie that resolves it, so gotta track that down next.
The worst. It was like the original FMA ended on one of the worst cliffhangers ever, and they had to wait till the movie came. I thankfully did have to wait, because literally my friend sat me down and made me watch all of the original FMA, not Brotherhood.
I've watched the original too. I've never watched Brotherhood. Yeah. I've watched the original.
I haven't watched Brotherhood. I want to. I've heard it's amazing.
Yeah, right.
But I like the original. It is what it is. I didn't have a
problem with it.
Yeah, I liked it. It didn't match the manga. I don't know the manga, so I couldn't tell you. But the way they did it, they tied everything together. It was fine. And you need to watch the movie at the end, though, because the final episode is so just depressing otherwise.
Well, that's one thing I'm super bad at. I have seen very few anime movies or like OVAs off of shows. Like I never watched the Bebop one or any of the Evangelion ones. Like all these things that are vital to continuing the story. Yeah. I just never watched them. So I need to get better at that.
Yeah, although Evangelion, it's like, we're going to reboot the series, and then we run out of money, and then end it. So, I mean, I don't know if you're missing out much.
Yeah, like the Berserk ones on Netflix are like that, too.
Yeah,
I know that weird CGI, which I don't love. I don't hate it either, but I don't love it. So I need to find a new thing. I finished those, too. I need to find a new thing to watch. I've been watching live-action stuff this week. Like, I've been watching the ongoing Star Trek show, and the Orville, which is more or less the same thing.
Yeah. How is the new Star Trek?
It is worth watching. If you're a Star Trek fan, it's worth watching, and you'll probably like it. I like it. It's definitely at least average or slightly above average for Star Trek like first seasons, which are historically never super great. my biggest complaint with the show is there aren't really any characters I like. I mean, the ship's captain I very much enjoy watching. Like, I like him, like, he's cool and he's engaging, but he's like a bad guy. I don't like him. There's no characters that I'm like, I like to like this person. I'm rooting for this person. I'm not rooting for anybody because they're all either like annoying or petty or like it's not like old Star Treks where everyone's like a noble. I am the finest of humanity or whatever species I am, and we are the Federation of Planets, and we do good things. It's kind of we're just like catty high school people like arguing and like sniping at each other. So
that's annoying.
I started to watch it with a friend and she couldn't watch it. She's like, no, it's just too annoying watching these people bicker the entire time. It's not like Bones and Spock bickering, like arguing. It's just like really, I don't know, petty and spiteful. It doesn't come off the same way.
Okay.
So I might be overhyping it because I don't think it's enough to ruin the whole show, but it's my biggest complaint.
Now, I'm not a huge Star Trek person, to be honest. I only really watched the movies just because they were the movies, and people were like, you should watch it. And I enjoyed them. I'm not a huge Star Trek person. I know of it, of course. Did you like the Star Trek movies? I've seen all 3 of them. I enjoyed them, but the new... Like,
they were pretty good.
Okay. I know that was very, like it really depended on who you talk to, because my mom is a Star Trek fan. She loved the movies, but I know other people who hated the movies who were Star Trek fans, so it just depends who you talk to.
I didn't have a huge problem with them. I liked it. On the whole, I definitely liked him. It's kind of like Discovery, I guess. It's more the same. Like, I like it.
Yeah.
It's not the best thing ever. But I definitely liked all 3 Star Trek movies better than Force Awakens.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Although I liked Rogue One better than all 3 Star Trek movies.
Okay, that's fair, though. Rogue One is like a masterpiece. I mean, I love Force Awakens because I think it's a fun movie. I understand why you don't like it, but I personally love it. But Rogue One is like, that's on its own kind of level. Because, like, Force Awakens and the other 3 Star Trek movies are almost, like, feel-good in a way, and Rogue One is, like, whoo!
Yeah.
I think that one's going to be pretty historical.
It's actually funny. There's a minor problem I have both with Rogue One and the new Star Trek, where I have a really, really hard time like, keeping track of where things are in space. Because it kind of just seems like, there's a problem at place, and we're there, solving a problem. It's just like, did it take you hours? Like, was it, like, expensive to get there? Like, there's just no cost to getting anywhere. Just, and swipe and we're there. Just like, okay.
I always have that issue with any space movie. Like, the first time I watched Guardians of the Galaxy, that's always the space travel part is always the part that I have to watch a space movie twice for. I got really confused in Rogue One as well, and I got really confused in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Rogue
like, all
One's
those...
particularly bad.
Yeah, it was pretty, because Rogue One had a particular weird, like, way of introducing those planets, in my opinion. And so, yeah, I totally agree. I always get confused at all the space travel stuff. Like, where are we? Why is this place important? It's like, what? What is this place? How do we get here?
It seems that all is so close.
Yeah, I know.
It's funny.
It's funny. I did play one game, actually 2 weeks ago I played this game with my brother. I haven't uploaded the content for it yet. Oh, remember how several weeks ago I said that my brother had a surprise game that he wanted me to play? So I finally played it, and it was Galgun. Do you know what Galgun is, Fo?
That name rings a very strong bell.
Well, if you do watch, I believe Game Grumps played it. And basically, how do I explain the premise of this game? It's an anime kind of game. You are an average high school student, extremely average high school student, who just happens to have, like, a childhood tsundere friend whose cute younger sister has finally come back to school from some family thing. And apparently you guys were, like, best pals since you were childhood friends, both of you. But after the younger sister left, the tsundere friend didn't talk to you for a while, so you didn't know if they still liked you. Anyways, you find that out. At the same time, there's this angel that's on her training to basically be a cupid, and she messes up and hits you with a super powerful love arrow.
I have seen Game Grumps play this game.
Yep. And this super powerful love arrow makes, like, all the girls fall in love with you, but because it's all concentrated, you have one day to have, basically find your true love, or else if you don't, then the next day everything will hate you, including your parents, your dog, and just the world. So for some reason, everyone's like...
Why did this happen? Because the Cupid was in training and sucked at being Cupid?
Kinda, yeah. Basically.
Okay.
And at the same time as this, there's a demon that is in there's a devil who's like, she's doing remedial training, because usually devils and angels don't go on the same training ground, but because the devil's in remedial training, they accidentally had to share the same space. This devil does not become important, she just basically makes the game harder. What the game is because all these girls are lusting after you, you have to, like, give them these, like, euphoria bullets where, like, you touch them or shoot at them. I don't quite understand how that works. In, like, places they like until they, like, fall over in ecstasy and then you can move on, or else they try to kill you. Yeah, so that was weird. And then there's, like, a Doki Doki mode where, like, you have to, like, rub them in certain areas that they like, and then you get a super powerful bonus. It's a railgun shooter, by the way, I should mention. And then there are random scenes where, because early on, it's not even a good, like, visual novel thing. First of all, the visual novel sections suck. Like, I hated the gameplay, but I hated the visual novel sections more, because the dialogue is just atrocious, or awesome, depending on your definition. And the parts and you have to choose way to begin the game who you're gonna go for. There's no, like, choice sequence. You're like, okay, which of your childhood friends you're gonna go for? The tsundere childhood friend or her younger sister, who's like a year younger? And so you have to choose that in the beginning, and so then that determines your path. And then you get some conversation options where you have to be careful how you choose answers. Not really. And then there's like these 3 sequences where you have to help these girls. And I'm just going to tell you the one that I went through, which was I picked the younger sister just because she looks really like stupidly young and cutesy, and I thought it was creepier. She's got a weird mask on her head. Oh, I forgot to mention, the sisters are demon hunters, by the way. So you find that out. Yes. Awkward. So there's a point where the younger sister is trying to set up a demon trap, which is like something super sticky, and she falls like backwards crab, basically, and you have to like try to pull on her but rub her at the same time to show that you love her so you can get her affection up. It's weird. And it's very compromising positions, and I am not looking forward to having that edited, because I'm going to have censor blocks.
How long did you play it for?
We played for 2 hours, and that was enough. It's a short game, actually. My brother played it all the way through himself, and I watched it. It's probably a good maybe 5 to 6 hour game. Okay. If you're bad, like your first time.
Sure.
Because you're supposed to replay it multiple times, because there are multiple endings.
Choose different waifus or whatever.
Yeah, basically choose, because you can either choose between the 2 sisters. If you play long enough, you can unlock the harem ending. I don't know what that looks like. And then if you play long enough, I think you can, like, have an angel and demon ending, and then they have an ending where it's like, pick any of them. Also, this game apparently has stats, but I still don't know what they do. So yeah, it was a bad game, actually. Well, like, the problem is that, all that stuff aside, like, the rail shooting part, the controls are legitimately terrible. Like, it's not a good game.
You don't play it for the game.
You don't. And the reason I kind of, like, teased about it is because I found one of my friends who's a huge gamer. Huge gamer. No, he likes to play video games or whatever. And he's one of those people that, like, he's one of those people that when these kind of games comes out, I think he wants it to be good, and then it's not good. So he pre-ordered and got the collector's edition for this game, I found out, and was very disappointed because it's not a good game. So yeah, Galgun, there's a reason right now it's like $2 on PS4 store. There's a reason for that, or $5, whatever. It's like 90% markup. Yeah, I do not recommend. I do not recommend. So
was this crowdfunded, or he just pre-ordered it? He didn't back it, right?
No, I don't think he backed it. I think it was pre-ordered.
I'm curious what he thought it was going to be.
I don't know. He's one of those, I don't know how to, like, I love this guy, he and I are friends, but, like, he's just one of those people that I think he's kind of sick of the whole, like, this is where he and I completely disagree, but he's really sick of the whole, like, it's too, it's okay to have sexy things or whatever, it's funny, and so then he therefore wants it to be good, because so that he can be like, no, it's a good game kind of thing, but it's just not good, so
I see.
It's just a waste of money. I don't know how to explain. He's a good guy, but, like, that's just one of his things, and so I was not surprised, actually, when I found this out. I was surprised that he took the risk for it, but, yeah, he paid dearly for that. It's not a good game. It's very short, and the railgun system is not very good.
Is it repetitive, too? Like, it's going to recycle a lot of the same stuff?
Yep. The girls are all pretty much repetitive. Every girl has a name, so I guess that's nice. And every girl has a special spot they like to be touched.
It's like Scott Pilgrim, the back of the knee on Ramona's ex.
Yep. Pretty much. That is an option, I think, for some of them, actually. So, yes, exactly. But, like, yeah, I mean, this technically, I guess every location is different. But, I mean, it's a school setting. So, I'm talking, like, you go outside into school, you could go through the cafeteria, you go through the hallway. Like, they have boss battles, but even those are kind of like, I don't know. They're not terribly inventive with what they do. The boss battles are a little different, but not by much. It's just, it's meant to be replayed a bunch of times so you can get better scores. That's the idea, but so that's also kind of repetitive. Like, if you want to replay to get better.
Yeah, that's not a game cycle I find super compelling.
No. And like I said, it's a railgun shooter, so once you've memorized the path, good job, you know? Like, that's boring. So yeah, sorry, I know you all want to be able to pet your girls and have them have ecstasy, but I do not recommend this one. Go find a hentai. Duly noted. So that was my exciting game of the week.
I played a bunch of games, or a bunch being like 3.
More than I did.
I'll go from least to most important. Least important, I played Albert and Otto. I didn't finish it yet, but this is a noteworthy game because I played it first, like their Kickstarter demo or whatever. Or they had some demo. I don't know if it's a crowdfunding demo or not. Anyway, I played a demo over a year ago, and it was pretty fun and fine. And memorable because there's a scene where you have to use like your kinetic powers to levitate a sheep and light it on fire and then like run through a cave with it, which was horrifying because the sheep was not dead. I'm like, this game's dark. It didn't like get graphic or anything, but it's just weird from a narrative standpoint.
Super weird. Sounds like a weird point and click adventure, like,
it's more like a
answer
platformer.
Okay.
But so I'm playing it now after the game's been out for over a year, and I'm playing the full release, and I don't know if I just forgot these things or if they didn't change or what, but it doesn't feel like a fully released game. Like, I'm encountering bugs and the controls are so bad. The jumping physics is just, it's not good. Like, I'll probably finish the game, but it's like kind of what you were saying with the previous game, where it's kind of generic. The controls are just, you have to fight the controls, which isn't super fun. So I'm curious how the story pans out, if there's going to be more sheep or like why things are all dark and weird and whatever, but I don't really have any expectations to actually get that from the story.
Also, why you have to light a sheep on fire and not, I don't know, a stick. Yeah,
there's trees everywhere.
There's one of these seems a little easier than the other.
Yeah, you get hit by lightning, and then you get the power to like levitate things, but only like very certain things. And it's not like metal, it's like wooden boxes or sheep. It's like, what is this power that only works on these very specific things? It doesn't make any sense.
That's a little strange.
But pretty, yeah. So I'll be playing more of that. I played The Inner World, The Last Wind Monk, which I requested a key for because the name is super cool. Turns out it's a point-and-click adventure. It's a sequel to The Inner World, which I have not played at all. It's very, very pretty, and it's well voice acted, but there is a lot of text. So, and the actors don't deliver the lines quickly. Like, obviously you're not gonna like speed read your lines back and forth, but like, it's just like, I'm done reading the thing in my head, like, well before they're halfway through it most of the time. And there's like pauses when they transition to the next MP3 for the next person to talk. And it's just like, I don't want to skip it, but I've been skipping it because it just takes too long otherwise.
Yeah, there's something. Voice acting is a weird thing. Were they long paragraph sections too? Was
they're not. They're pretty beefy. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah,
they're good multiple sentences.
That's hard. Like, sometimes you want to. I know it's multiple audio files and it makes it laggy, but I don't know. Like, attention spans, man. When I see a lot of text on a page, it's like,
it's just exacerbated too, because two characters will be talking and one person will interrupt the other. So the person will be like, "But I think we should." Hold that thought. It's just like, oh.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. That's why. Do they have an autoplay function with the stuff?
I mean, if I click, it'll just terminate whatever dialogue is and go to the next one.
Yeah, but there's no autoplay for the dialogue. It's just, you have to click it to go next.
No, it will autoplay. Yes, it will autoplay.
Oh, well, okay. Sometimes it's a little bit of autoplay, but yeah, I totally understand that.
But that's what the pauses come from. Yeah, so but the game looks good. The puzzles are, they're okay. They're a little obtuse. I just got stuck this morning trying to solve a puzzle where there was a, like a pulley was broken, and I had to use floss to fix it. And I don't usually think of floss as being... Floss is used for tying things down or together, but not as like a rotating strip of like rope. So... Fortunately,
welcome to Point Click.
Yeah, I stumbled by accident. The game actually has a really good built-in hint system. Like you just keep clicking hint, and it gives you more and more specific hints. Like as an experiment, I did the full thing, and it's like use the floss on the pulley. I figured it out in like 5 hints ago, but it's cool that they actually have that scaling system, so you don't feel too bad by using the hint system.
Yeah, I like built-in hint systems now because I don't have to try to, especially for like indie point-and-click adventures where unless it's on Steam, there probably isn't a walkthrough for.
Yeah.
So it's really nice when they do that. I'm all about and then you don't have to tell anybody when you needed a hint. You can just click at it. It makes things easier. It's actually one of the reasons, like, Professor Layton games, there's technically a currency involved with their hint system, but you can find Picard coins everywhere. Although I would cheat, because the more hints you unlock, the less, like, points you get, and so I would totally cheat by, like, unlocking a hint. Oh, no, you don't lose hints, you just lose coins. And so for some reason, even though you use the coins when you need to, I would just unlock the hint, and then try to memorize it, and then restart it.
Haha, I like it.
It's a pride thing. But yeah, that's amazing. Use floss on pulley.
I was so stuck too, because it's not like so the task was repair this cable car, and there's a bunch of things with the cable car you have to repair, and so I'm working on all these puzzles in parallel, and I'm blocked by this one thing, and then like fixing the pulley system causes the cable car to also like jerk slightly, which scares a bird, which the bird was sitting on like a thing that you needed. So it's like there was no way I was going to prioritize this puzzle because it didn't seem like it was leading to anything at all.
Yeah. Point and click games are hard.
They definitely can be.
Yeah, I really recommend, like, Kathy Rain, in my opinion, is a good modern point and click. There were only two times where I was like so stuck I had to look on a walkthrough. One of them was completely my fault. I was like, oh duh. But the others, they were kind of obtuse. But otherwise, like, the puzzles I thought were very unique, and the things you had to put together actually do make sense. One is a leap of logic that's kind of a meta logic in my opinion. Like, they kind of have it in game, like, clue as to why to link these two together. But honestly, the only real reason you link these two things together is because you're like, meta logic. This is the only thing that would make sense, even though in real life you would never think this.
The thing I hate is when the game gives you a very big hint. So, like, one of the puzzles also in this part is you have to like win this dart throwing game to get a prize because you need the prize to do a thing. But you're too weak, you can't throw the darts very well. And so, like, you have a pet bird, and the NPC who runs the dart thing, he's like, wouldn't it be great if you had a dart that was sentient and could fly on its own? And you're like, yeah, use the bird as a dart. And you get, like, a sock that has, like, the same kind of, like, color pattern on it as the darts. And, like, I spent a long, like, minutes trying to, like, put the sock on the bird, but it was like, no! And it's like, it didn't give me a good reason why not. And it turned out I needed to, like, to enhance the costume. I needed to, like, put, like, a little cone on that, make it like a dart, little fins, but it's just like, the sock is good enough. Like, if he's gonna recognize it, he's gonna recognize it. It's not gonna be like, oh, it's a bird in that sock. Oh, wait, there's a cone on the end. It's not a bird in a sock, you know? Just like, the logic, it doesn't add up super well.
Oh my gosh. My favorite logic... Oh, I wish I remember what this puzzle was, but I never finished... Do you know The Longest Journey?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, I never finished it. I've always wanted to. Part of the reason I haven't finished is I switched computers, and actually it takes a while to get to run correctly through Steam. You have to do this weird thing. So that's the reason I haven't finished it. I'd love to someday. It's because it's a beautiful... It's very old. So, it's a beautiful game.
One of the older members of this podcast, Nathan, that was his most favorite game franchise of all time.
Oh, really?
And so
I
he and I sat down and played the first one once. Well, it was a co-commentary, so he was playing it, and I was watching his screen, and we were both talking over it. And it's a good thing he played it before, because I think this is where we were going. The first game has probably the worst example I've ever seen of a puzzle ever, where it's like a fishing rod and like a crappy monkey doll. It's just like, what the frack is going on?
It's the rubber duck puzzle. I'm looking it up because it is so infamous.
It's infamous. I didn't know about it beforehand, but it's just like, I would never, ever have gotten it.
I'm going to look for it so I can explain this puzzle, because it's amazing. Here, I have a cracked article. Let's see if I can find it. Early in the game, you come across a key stuck in an electrified subway track.
Yeah.
In order to get that, you need to... What is it you need to get?
Apparently rubber duck.
Oh my gosh. So you need the key to be sure. You can't, because you have to turn off the power to the subway before you can get the key.
Oh.
So in order to do that, what is it? You go to back. Okay, then you have to go to control the water pressure in your apartment. And then you want to get because there's a clamp that is like connecting the water pressure. So you want to steal it, but you can't because it's controlling the water pressure. So let's see. The problem is, so it's because it's holding down a leak.
Right.
So you have a gold ring that your dad gave you to conduct electricity. So you have to use that ring to conduct electricity through a cut wire up in a corner to power the device and loosen the clamp. So now you have this clamp. So now you have to look outside the window and drop breadcrumbs on this rubber duck to attract a seagull. The seagull punctures the duck with the bill as he eats. The damaged ducky floats away, and you stuff the clothes on your pocket. So now, okay. Well, that's right. Okay, so now you gotta get the clothesline to the clamp, remove the Band-Aid that's patching up the hole in the duck. Then you force the clamp open with the deflating toy. What happens? Yeah, when the duck finishes deflating, the clamp will snap closed onto the key. Yeah, so basically you make this weird thing where it's a rubber ducky connected to a clamp, connected to a clothesline in order to get a key.
Yes.
That was the puzzle. I remember when I reached this part, because I had heard about this through, I think I read this correct article a while ago. So when I got to this part of the game, I was like, is this what I think it is? And so I had to look it up because I had no freaking clue. And I was like, oh my lord, this is as bad as I thought it was. Yeah, it's infamous. But yeah, that's a thing that happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been wanting to finish that game because otherwise it is an example of a game where it's got good voice acting, but it's really long voice acting.
Yeah.
We were kind of like, oh,
I stopped playing when it got to parts with like combat because the combat system was kind of jank.
Isn't that the second game? I know isn't the first game?
It's in the first game.
Oh, okay.
It's
I know there's combat
game,
in the second game, and that was super weird. I haven't played the second game, but I didn't know the first one, but it's okay. I haven't finished it yet. I
don't
probably
really intend to finish it.
Yeah, I'd like to just because they now have like the third one out, so I'm like, oh,
the third one's supposed to be real good.
Yeah, I know exactly, and so I want to finish it. The first one is just kind of epic in different ways. It's just cool because it has like. There's nothing that's like Earth. You've got like a sci-fi world and then a fantasy world. Yeah. And so it's like, oh wow, so you have to kind of learn two different worlds, which is weird at first, but it's really cool. So someday.
That's a weird thing too sometimes in like point and click adventures set like not in Earth. Because it kind of compounds some of their problems. So you don't really know like the rules of the world so well. It's like, is this normal? Is this abnormal? Like, how do these things work together? Like, is this a normal reaction to this?
Is it normal to get a rubber ducky with a clamp and a close on to get a key? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, point and click games is one of those things, like, I love and I hate them. Like, it's so easy to make a bad one, but at the same time, it's really hard to make a good one. Because when they're too easy, then they're too easy, but when they're too hard, it's obtuse. Like, it's hard to balance.
One big problem I have frequently with them is I feel like the point and click adventures, they're a pretty old genre. And there's a lot of quality of life things that I feel like should be standard now that a lot of games just don't have. Like, I really like being able to, like, double click to, like, instantly change to the next screen. Because, like, a lot of these point-and-click adventures is, like, I had this item, where do I use it? So you're running around really quickly trying to use it on all different things. And it gets really hard if you have to, like, walk across each frame or whatever.
Yep. Oh, I know. I know. I think traveling. Yeah, traveling is like the worst part of point and click adventures. Like when I played Kathy Rain, I was so irritated because I was like, okay, I just need to get to the other screen. What the crap? Like I was so impatient.
Yeah.
But
I generally prefer. No, they're not the same. Like, so I think point and click adventures usually are really good, and there's a story. They almost always focus on some pretty strong story, like a narrative, a lot of text. First person puzzle games I generally prefer, but they frequently have the opposite problem, where it's just like you're in an abstract series of rooms to solve these weird puzzles. There's just no story.
I know. Well, it's one of the reasons why I still think that like some of the older Nancy Drew games are some of the best mystery point and click adventures. It's a first person point and click adventure basically. And there's some of the games are hit or miss, but they have some good solid point and click games there. I still replay them. They're very nice, and some of the puzzles are kind of weird, but some of the puzzles are very solid and
I played
stuff
one
like
of
that.
those. It was good, but it's really easy to miss things. Like,
Yes.
I played Tex Murphy, which is like a sci-fi noir kind of thing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I just spent like 40 minutes trying to find a key. Like, it was almost like pixel hunting in first person, which is impossible.
Yeah. Luckily with because one of the things that Nancy Drew games always do, which is nice, is they have a really obvious like light up thing when you can click on something.
Yes.
So like it's like your magnifying glass turns red. Like they make it very obvious.
Okay.
I hate the ones where it's like they don't make these anymore, but some of the old ones were like you literally have to pixel hunt because you don't know if you're gonna click on something.
Yes.
But no,
I have to
admit
I'm a Scream is like that, and Deponia is kind of like that.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I really can't play those games, because that would drive me nuts.
It's like, the art is so pretty, but it's just overwhelming. I mean, it's clicking on all these different things, and sometimes they'll even, like, move to your clicks, like it's a fun little Easter egg, but it's like, but it's distracting, because you're like, is that an actual reaction that I have to use as a puzzle piece, or what?
I can't tell. One of the things that Nancy Drew does that I really like, that I think a lot of games need to do, one of actually my biggest criticisms of Kathy Rain, in fact, was this, which is Nancy Drew has a checklist. So, because it's easy to kind of get overwhelmed of what you're supposed to do.
Sure.
In those games, because, like, you're in a new area, and it's just, like, solve the mystery. And you're like, what do I... Because that's how they literally just start. They're like, go ahead, solve the mystery. It's not, like, they don't really tell you right away where you need to go. You should talk to people, of course. You're solving a mystery, and you should explore. That's what they want you to do. But it's still really easy to kind of see puzzles and be like, am I supposed to solve this yet? You're not really sure. So what they have built in game is a checklist of, like, things you need to do. And it will fill up really quickly, and some of those things you won't check off until the very end of the game, but other things you'll be able to check off quickly. And Kathy Rain didn't have that, which I guess it didn't technically need it, but I felt like would have made some things a little easier, because sometimes, it was a little hard to figure out, like, what am I supposed to do next? Now, it's not as open. Like, Nancy Drew games tend to be very, like, almost open in how they go, okay, there's specific things you have to do each day that you can only do each day, but still... while with Kathy Rain, it was pretty clear, like, do this, now do this. But still, like, I think mystery point-and-click games should have a checklist if they can. Or, maybe easier difficulties have a checklist. Just to kind of orient yourself, like, what or, the issue I love... Hotel Dusk is one of my other favorite old point-and-click adventures for the DS. So good. But that one needed a checklist, because I would turn off the game, come back to it, look at it, and go... what was I doing again? Where did I have to go? And there's no way to tell. Like, I was stuck for like 20 minutes one time because I couldn't remember what had just happened. And it was because I had to go to this room because I heard a noise. Like, I didn't remember. So, stuff like that. But yeah, point-and-click games are hard.
The final game I played this week was Destiny 2, which I think is the only AAA game I've played this year, or like brand new.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, I was gonna say, dang. So what made you go for the plunge?
So I have two buddies. I have multiple buddies who are playing it, but two of them specifically wanted to play it. So we did, one of us for each class. So we're that fire team running through. So I'm the hunter, which is kind of like the rogue class, or maybe it's the ranger class. I can't really tell.
Solid choice.
It's more of the choice that's left after they picked theirs, so that's fine. It's like, I don't have a preference.
Did you play Destiny 1 at all?
I did not, as it was only for consoles. So there's definitely some story things I haven't really fully understood. We're like, oh no, this terrible thing happened. I'm like, what does that mean? What does that mean?
What do we do?
Like, we fixed it. Okay, I guess it wasn't a big problem anyway.
Right,
and it has a bit of the problem where each person is supposed to be like the hero, and so it's like, which of us is the hero? Like, it's not... there's no in-world explanation for why there's millions of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Skyrim had that problem. I mean, Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. Like, that's because those MMO games, because they're trying to...
Warcraft.
They're trying to make themselves still relevant for people, even if there's not a total multiplayer element. Because that's what the KOTOR game tried to do. What KOTOR did, it wasn't bad.
I really liked Tor's campaign.
Yeah. I did play it actually for a while. I just didn't pick it up because basically my brother was like, we're going to play this more. And so I did for well, actually what happened was I was lucky because I was one of the people who first paid for it when it first came out.
Yeah, I bought it on launch.
So did I. Which was actually kind of a good decision because even though like I only played it for a little bit and then I stopped playing and paying for it.
You played it before it sucked.
Yeah, well, kind of. But I also I can go back and just play because you get perks if you play for free, but you bought it. You get perks.
I haven't done that.
So, like, I only know this because a friend of mine, she started playing it when they made it free to play, and she was, like, complaining about these limitations, and I found out I didn't have those limitations. I think you get more character slots, and amongst some other things.
It's weird. Bonuses. I think I did actually play it since it went free to play, because I remember... I had less action bars than I did before, so I had to rework a lot of my skills because you only get some action bars. And I had characters of races that I didn't have access to anymore, like premium races.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just weird to it just sends a really bad message to have things to give things to players and then take them away, put them behind doors. You need to introduce new things that are behind doors from day zero. You can't yank things away without creating quite a bit of ill will.
It's true. Yeah, I know, because when Tor first came out, of course, they said they were never going to be free to play, and then, of course, they did, because you can't do that.
That's the world we live in now.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. I still get emails for it. I'm tempted to go back. I just kind of want to see the storylines, but I just never got a chance to.
I liked a lot of what it was doing, but I actually liked WildStar better. Okay. In terms of gameplay.
I never played.
It's also free to play. I liked it a little better. But I think WildStar was designed to be free to play. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember. But I thought so.
I never really played much MMOs. The only MMO I ever played growing up, and like nobody knows this MMO RPG at all, because like nobody played it. But my cousin and my brother got super into Dark Ages.
Like Dark Age of Camelot kind of thing?
No, it was, that's actually, it is kind of meant to be a medieval setting, but actually the flavor was Celtic. The gods and the lore were all Celtic flavored. It was made by a Vietnamese company, I think, and you had to pay $10 a month to get, now you can do free to play, but at the time you had to pay $10 to play it for a month. And I got into it when I was like 12 or 13. And it's all kind of like Gaia Online style characters. Yeah. It was very Gaia Online style kind of graphics and stuff like that. Yeah. And the main thing about it, though, that I would say that's kind of funny, like, it had the most brutal, I don't know if they still do this, but at the time it had the most brutal, like, consequence for dying. If you died in that game, certain high powerful items you bought broke, and you you would get reanimated at some save, like, temple thing, but all your stuff and your gold would be laid in a pile where you died.
And anybody could pick it up.
Yeah, anyone could pick it up. And when you died, like, you had no clothes, no armor, no weapons, no nothing. Yeah. So you would have to go back and get your stuff. It was horrible. Like, dying in that game was brutal. And it was so funny because I remember it was the first MMO I ever played. So you can imagine when I tried another MMO, how I was like, wait, you mean you don't lose your life when you die?
Yeah.
Like, it
don't have to be super cautious all the time.
Yeah, because you had to be really cautious in that game.
You might like Realm of the Mad God. It's a free game on Steam. It's kind of like a top-down 16-bit MMO roguelike, because if you die, you completely wipe. You start rolling your character.
Yeah. It's interesting. But yeah, Dark Ages was kind of a weird niche thing that I did for a while. I had some weird players. One of the cool little things you got to do is, because I was the wizard class, of course, and they had mentorship programs. So my brother was my mentor. Basically, when you reached a certain level, you had to find another player to be your mentor who was at a higher level. Yeah, so that was kind of interesting. You could get married in that game. They had a lot of weird stuff in those games. If you got deeper, there was some weird, interesting Celtic lore. It was very interesting. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. It was very niche, and it was the weird, like, no one else played this game. But it was pretty cool. And the players for the base for a while was very strict. Like, they had some pretty strict moderation to the point as in, you really couldn't have screen names in the traditional sense. You were supposed to have a name as your screen name. And actually, if they found any players with, like, traditional screen name, like, kind of
X's
stuff, they would
the ends and that kind of stuff.
Exactly. Yep, exactly. Or numbers and stuff like that. They would actually stop them and make them remake their screen name. They even had, like, they had a thing for a while where even you weren't really supposed to speak in chat speak, because they had you could do whispers to people, but they also had open public speech bubble stuff.
Sure.
so you could just shout things out and stuff like that. And they actually had keystrokes where if you type certain things, they would fix it for you. So the main one I remember is LVL, like what level are you, was insight, because they called it your insight rank because it's pretentious. So it would, you instead of being like what level are you, it would translate to like, what insight are you? Just stuff like that. So it was very role play-esque. I think that's
I
kind
can
of
appreciate that.
Yeah, I could too. It got a little pretentious
Eve
at the
gets
run.
that way sometimes.
Yeah, and they had to do away with it because there was a point where it did get very popular and over flooded with, a bunch of trolls and stuff like that, so they couldn't control everything. But I did appreciate the attempt to be into roleplay friendly and stuff like that, so that was really cool. If you were a wizard, because you get to pick spells, you could actually, like, type in the macros, like, the words that you would say for your spells.
That's
so,
awesome.
Yeah, so that was really cool. But yeah, it had a lot of good stuff going for it, really. And the community was hit or miss. When I first joined, I liked the community. When I played a little bit later, the community was really weird. I had some weird guys that actually cornered me literally to try to steal my stuff. That's when I stopped playing, actually, because a moderator came and like took my stuff to investigate the issue, and I just stopped playing after that. Because literally, it's a top-down 16-bit, so 2 people could corner you in a dungeon, and that's what happened. They like asked me to get me something of mine, and at first I was like, what? And then they just cornered me and said I wouldn't be able to leave until I gave it to them. And my brother was playing at the time. I was like, help! So I had to get like a moderator down. It was terrible. But yeah, I think it's still around. I think it's free to play now, but it was interesting. Tell us in the comments below if you play Dark Ages.
I think that's everything I did video game wise, though. I don't have much to say on Destiny 2 yet. I'm still reaching the end game. I'm level 17 out of 20.
Oh wow! Oh, it's not that much.
No, like if you there's a very short campaign too. It's like a few hour long campaign, like 5 or 6 hour long. And if you reach the end of the campaign without being level 20, it just makes you automatically level 20. So like after that, it's a lot of progression though on getting better gear and like doing harder things. I don't know. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah. My brother did play Shadow of War actually.
Mordor? That's the
sequel.
Got it. Yep.
Whatever
the controversial one with the microtransactions and the cancer guy.
Yeah. He's really enjoyed it so far. He's felt like the microtransactions haven't really come up yet for him. I don't know if that's changed. We'll see. He hasn't played that far into it. But he's really enjoying it. I haven't really heard the reviews for it yet, so I don't know.
Me neither, actually.
I haven't heard much. I just know because he pre-ordered it and he was playing it like all the time, and he loved it. But he really loves Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of War is very similar, but they kind of tweaked some things. He felt like they fixed some things, which is good. That's what you're supposed to do when you make a sequel. But we'll see how that lasts. Have you played Shadow of Mordor at all?
I bought it for a friend for Christmas, but I never played it myself.
Okay, so part of kind of the fun part of the game is, they kind of randomly generate these orcs that, you have to that you do all this stuff for and stuff. The mechanics of itself of the game are actually very interesting. But anyway, whether, how it works out well is a different story. But part of the thing is they randomly generate these orcs, and they usually have like one line of dialogue, which if you play long enough, they repeat, of course, but it's meant to kind of give them a unique flavor. In Shadow of War, the sequel, they tried to do more than that, tried to put more, like, differences and stuff like that. So it didn't just seem like the random, had more choices and more variety, basically. And tried to make it feel less like the, same kind of things pasted together. But what that happens as a result is because when you meet an orc for the first time, like a new nemesis or whatever, they give you, they have, a line of dialogue, they say, that's randomly generated. Well, in the new one, to try to give it more, they made these lines of dialogue, pretty long, as in, instead of just one line, they were, 2 to 3 lines. Yeah, so my brother was like, I know what they're trying to do, and I know it's supposed to be more impressive to show off their big budget, but I just kind of want to skip to this and go to the fight. So, we'll see. But it is what it is. I haven't really played the games myself, but they look pretty fun. It's definitely unique. So, that's cool.
Yeah, fun. I mean, it's supposed to be, because I really like the Arkham games, and I think this is, the only other game that really does that kind of one versus many combat well.
Yes, that's what I've heard too. I mean, it's basically the battle system, as far as I've heard, is literally
the same.
It's literally the same.
I wish more games would rip it off. It's good.
That's the thing. We want to be all unique and stuff, but man, Arkham just got it right.
Pretty much. It was fast.
It works.
It's good.
Because it used to be a rhythm game. That's why it works. It was supposed to be a rhythm game. Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but the original, Batman, Arkham, the first game, the original pitch was a Batman dance rhythm game. That's what it was. And of course that didn't fly, because of course it didn't. I think they had the mechanics, though, already set. And so, whatever, someone decided to make it a full-blown game, and they just took the mechanics over. So yeah, it was based off a dance rhythm game. And that's why it works. Yeah. But no, I agree. It's one of those mechanics that's like, yeah, just everyone use this. It's fine. Just do it. Please.
All beat 'em ups, because I don't really like God of War type games where it's like, destroy a bunch of people around you, but like Batman's kind of an exception.
Yeah. Batman makes it work. The only other like extreme, Batman's nice because, it's like one against many and it's rhythmic and, there's kind of whatever. But I know Char doesn't like Dynasty Warriors games, but I love those games. But those are just button mashing. Just like, It's meant to just be, you just destroy huge swaths of people.
Yeah. That's
fun stuff.
Before I forget, I wanted to mention, there's a news story related to Destiny 2. I don't know if this news story has been has closure yet, but there were a number of reports of players getting banned on launch. Like they hadn't even really played the games. Like launching the game, they kind of got banned. And so the prevailing theory, which I think has been pretty thoroughly debunked by now, is that Destiny 2 was, as its anti-cheat methods, was accidentally catching things that affected overlays like OBS or fraps or this sorts of things. So that's been debunked. I don't think those things are what's been the problem now. Destiny reps have said that all ban cases are looked at manually because there is no contention policy. So if you're banned, you're banned. So I don't know if those people are all just actually trying to cheat some way or what, but there was a minor brouhaha that happened earlier in the week when that launched.
Of course there was.
Yeah, no launch can go smoothly or quietly. No. It is not possible.
Nope. Too quiet and it was bad, and too loud and also bad. It never seems to just go perfectly.
Pretty much.
Never goes right.
So I guess we're news now?
I guess we're news.
Okay.
What you got?
This isn't going to be news yet, but this will be news next week. Super Mario Odyssey launches today as of this recording.
Yes.
So that's probably the highest profile game on the Switch currently.
Yes, it is. I've heard. I haven't looked into it, but I've heard maybe it's because people are too hyped for it, but it's been getting apparently crazy good reviews or something.
Probably.
Maybe people are just early on it.
It's also one of those things that you can't. I get the impression if you are to say anything bad about it, you'll get drawn and quartered.
Yeah, that's true too. So that's definitely a thing. But yeah, no, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, the Switch is doing well for itself, which, I know we all made fun of it, but hey,
I actually saw a game's going to be coming out on the Switch that actually makes me want to buy a Switch, which is weird because the game is not a Switch exclusive. It's a game on PC, which I could buy right now, but it makes me want to buy a Switch because it's it's kind of it's not a JRPG because it's not Japanese, but it's like a JRPG, and I haven't played a JRPG in a long time because I don't like playing them on PC as much. I really like being able to pull it out and kind of do battles and grind on the bus or whatever. So Battle Chasers is coming to the Switch, so that kind of makes me want to get it. But I probably won't, but it makes me want to.
Yeah. Well then, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. The other story I have, Microsoft has stopped manufacturing the Kinect.
Really?
Yeah, they've given up. They've thrown in the towel.
Oh, wow. Huh. Okay.
I think they're kind of just putting all their resources into the HoloLens, which I guess doesn't need the Kinect. It's going to be its own thing.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, okay, I'm looking at it now. The HoloLens integrates its own Kinect-like sensor. But when is the HoloLens supposed to come out? What are they going to do in the meantime? It's interesting. I don't know. I was never a huge fan of the Kinect, but it's just weird to stop making it. Just nope.
I know. I'm rather surprised that is it the Kinect also? Because didn't they make a Xbox One Kinect, or was the Xbox One bundled? I forget how that worked. Wasn't there something with the Kinect and the Xbox One where like it came with it or I forget.
I believe that sounds familiar. That sounds like it's
I thought it was something like that.
I've heard.
Yeah, it's always weird to. I mean, obviously, certain things that are manufactured have to come to an end, but still, weird to hear about it. I think sometimes it's like, oh, I guess that's done now. Oh, okay. Like we live in a world where you can get anything you want online, and so it's weird. Like, oh yeah, they probably would stop producing that at some point.
Yeah, totally.
It's weird. I was trying to find. There's a rumor I heard, and I can't seem to find any truth to this rumor, so it's probably not true. Oh, wait a second. Maybe it is. I can't find it. I heard a rumor that Nintendo planned on making an amiibo for every Pokemon that exists. I don't know if that's true.
That'd be crazy.
But I was like, that's a lot of plastic.
That's a lot of plastic. You know what I'd want to see? I'd want to see cool, like, tri-poses of, like, evolutions.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Because I don't want to buy one for each. Like, if I like a Poliwag, I want the Poliwag, Poliwhirl, Poliwrath right there. Although I guess now it's hard. It gets hard because some Pokemon have, like, divergent evolution paths. So I don't know what you do about that.
I don't know, but it'd be really cool.
So I'd be surprised if they did that, but that would be pretty cool. I'd be tempted to buy, like, a Snorlax or something. It's a little desk ornament.
Right. Yeah, just because. Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's the thing with amiibos is I don't play with amiibos, but, like, I think they're decently crafted
they look
figures.
Fine, yeah.
Yeah, they're not super, like, cheapo. And so I just kind of want to buy them just to have them. I'm not going to do anything with it, because I don't even play games that use amiibos. Char's not here, so he can't complain about that.
It would be like the original Pokemon cards all over again. We're like, oh man, that one store had the Charizard, like, it's going for $200.
Right, exactly. So yeah, so I don't know. It's probably not true, but I can't find the news article that I read that. It was a secondhand rumor someone told me, and I was like, really? So no veracity to it, but I just thought the idea itself was rather hilarious.
I like it.
So,
how many Pokemon are there by now? It's over 1,000, right?
At least. Let's see. How many Pokemon are there? It's a
How
Google
much
question.
could a Pokemon poke?
Oh, according to this, it's 802?
Okay.
Huh. Okay.
I guess
oh, wait, no, that's not. That can't be right. Well, no, that may be right. As of 6:44 p.m., October 19th, 2016. Oh, they say the total number is 720, but 802... Oh, okay. 802 doesn't... Oh, that's why. 802 doesn't include Mega Evolutions in Alola form, so a little bit more. But yeah, apparently it hasn't quite hit 1,000, which surprises me. But yeah, almost 1,000 in a couple years.
Maybe it hits 1,000 if you include... No, that's probably not 200 Megas and babies.
No, I don't think there are. I think that would only go up to like 830. Like, it wouldn't be that high. It's not gonna be another 100 or 50.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah. Not quite 1,000 yet. I'm sure once they reach their 1,000th Pokemon, it's gonna be like the biggest celebration.
It's gonna be like a new Mew type thing, like Mew 1K or something weird like that.
Oh my gosh, Mew! Oh gosh, don't let them listen. They'll do that. That sounds legit.
I think Mewtwo already has a Mega Evolution, and it's not like Mew 3 or something.
Yeah, it's really. What is it? Yeah, he totally does.
I haven't played with Mega Evolution, so I don't really know what they are, other than just like an additional evolution.
Basically, I happen to play. It's so funny. I don't play many Pokemon games. The only ones I played were like Pokemon Fire Pokemon Red, when it first came out for the Game Boy. I played that, and then I played a little bit of Fire Red, which is just a remake of that game. Or no, I played Leaf Green, I think. But anyway, it's just a remake of those games. And then I played Pokemon X, which was the weirdest learning curve of my life.
There's a lot of extra stuff. Like, the Pokemons have passives now and, like, weird, like, personality traits. And
I was so confused. I was like, what is this? And not to mention all the new Pokemon that I never even knew. I was like, what is this Pokemon? I don't know this Pokemon.
I feel less affinity for a lot of the new Pokemon. Because I think X was also... I played Crystal and White. Whichever one of those is newer. I think White's the most recent one. That's the last one I played. And there were very few Pokemon I liked. It's not like... I remember playing original Pokemon. It's like, that guy's cool. I don't care if he sucks. I'm going to use him. I don't get that anymore.
No, yeah, I feel like after... Because I think Crystal's when they introduced my favorite Pokemon. I never played Crystal, but, like, my favorite Pokemon's Ralts and that evolution line Gardevoir. But I don't... Like Ralts. Which you can't find...
It might be in Silver. Or Crystal.
Or it might be in Silver? Silver, it was one of those two generations, I feel like. But,
yeah.
It was one of it was second or third generation, I think. It was pretty early on. But yeah, which I can't look up Gardevoir online. I remember out for like Pokemon, December's Pokemon profile month on Facebook, I was trying to look up for Gardevoir because I usually used to do Mew. And I looked up Gardevoir, and you can't look up Gardevoir on the internet because fanboys.
Yeah. Or there's like a bunny rabbit one too. It's the same problem. Like Lolpunny.
Lucario?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna risk Google. Forgive me. Sexy bunny Pokemon.
It's your Google search, man.
The 5 most controversial Pokemon of all time. Is it really? Oh, it's Lolpunny.
Lopunny. Oh, really? That one?
Lopunny. That's what it's called. Even in game, it's in a sexy pose. Like, not even fan art. It's literal in-game sprite. It's like a sexy pose.
Oh, it totally is. You're right. Oh, that's
it's like
weird.
Doing this with little hands.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's super weird. Oh, jeez, that makes me super uncomfortable. I think I was thinking of Lopunny's first because Lopunny is evolves from Bunnery. I think I was thinking of Bunnery when you first.
Bunnery.
Yeah, I totally was. I was thinking of Bunnery, and I was like, well, that's the one that's sexy. No, okay, yep, nope, Lopunny. Yeah, that's disturbing. It sticks its butt out too. I am not comfortable by this.
It's interesting. I think they added a male evolution to Ralts. Because I remember when
they did.
I first had Ralts, like I had a guy version, but it evolved into a Gardevoir, and I was like, I'm confused.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, this looks kind of feminine. I mean, whatever, it's a Pokemon, but what? Yeah, no, they totally did. Galad or Galade, I think it's called. I see it right here in front of me. Yeah, they made it. I forget the Corellia. Is that the name of the second evolution? I can never pronounce the second evolution.
I don't even remember.
Corellia, okay. I think, is still the same. Like, you can have a male or a female Corellia, so you got this little ballet.
That's funny.
Whatever. And then it becomes Galad if it's male, and it becomes Gardevoir if it's female. Galad is like fighting psychic, so that's cool, but Gardevoir became Psychic Fairy, so it became kind of broken in X.
Fairy is a new broken thing.
Yep. X and Y, they introduced Fairy type, which they retconned a lot of Pokemon to be Fairy type that used to be normal type. In theory, this makes sense, but Fairy type is really powerful, so it just made Jigglypuff way too powerful. Because they're immune to Dragon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So...
Because Dragon used to be the reigning king, pretty much, right?
Yep. Well, that's why they made Fairy. Fairy was to counteract Dragon.
So what's Fairy weak against?
I have it right in front of me. I don't know this offhand.
Ghost?
Actually, I do usually remember it because the way they did is they actually use traditional things that fairies are bad with. So then here, it's poison, steel, and ghost. That's what they're weak to.
Alright, steel's the thing.
And yeah, which actually makes sense in kind of a lore concept. Steel is usually...
Iron,
against fairies. Poison, I forget why poison. That also makes sense. And I think ghost was another thing that was added. But again, ghost versus fairies.
Ghost
but yeah,
has been
it's only
around
poison,
for a
steel,
while.
and ghost.
Was original Ghastly just like a psychic Pokemon? Was like Ghost
No, original I think Ghost has been around. Okay, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's been around. Yeah, Ghost, because Lilac Town, or Lavender Town was Ghost.
That crazy
it wasn't
Grave Town.
Yeah.
I knew it was like a ghost Pokemon, but I didn't know if it was like its type was ghost or
Yeah. No, I think it's always been Ghost. I think Ghost has always been around. But the thing that's stupid about Fairy type is those weaknesses, Poison, Steel, and Ghost, they're not often physical attacks. Like Poison, you can have the Poison stat. They're not often a physical attack with the Poison attribute, though.
Right.
Usually it's just an attack that has poison. So that's like, what? Steel type is almost never offensive. It's almost always defensive. So that's whatever. And Ghost, that can go both ways. So Fairy type, so that's why Gardevoir was awesome, because it became Fairy Psychic type. And I forget what Psychic's weakness to, but I think it kind of shores up a lot of those weaknesses.
Probably.
So it's even better. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, I love Gardevoir, but I can't ever look it up. I don't know what my point was with that. But playing Pokemon X was weird.
Yes.
I was gonna mention was the Mega Evolution was introduced in Pokemon X and Y.
Okay.
All they tell you is literally like, you get this special bracelet, and they're like, we learn how to make Pokemon even more powerful.
With drugs.
Well, actually, it's with, like, power of love, like, if they like you enough. Yeah, like, it's the whole, like, they implicitly trust you, so you can mega evolve them.
It's a temporary thing or a permanent thing?
No, it's basically, it's only in battle you can do it. So you have a special bracelet, and basically if you have a Pokemon, if it can Mega Evolve, you do it in battle, and so it's Mega Evolved while in battle, but you can only Mega Evolve one Pokemon per battle. So let's say I have, because Gardevoir has a Mega Evolution, let's say I have Gardevoir and Lucario, they both have Mega Evolutions. And I'd say I have both in my party, and you have to have them also hold an item that's their X stone or whatever they call it, that's their Mega Stone, so you have to take up an item slot for it too. So let's say I have them both in my party. I have Gardevoir come out. I have her Mega Evolve. She Mega Evolves, and let's say she kills the thing, and I want to switch out to Lucario for whatever reason. I put Lucario out. I can't Mega Evolve him, even though he has the stone. So you can only Mega Evolve one Pokemon per battle.
Do all Pokemon have a Mega Evolution?
No, only certain ones do. Yeah. So only specific ones do. They basically picked like fan favorites and old ones. So some dumb ones also have a Mega Evolution for no freaking reason. Some especially some of the old dumb ones.
I see like a Dodrio right now. I can't tell which of these are fan art and which of these are real, but some of them are pretty funny. Like the Blastoise one has to be real, and that's goofy.
Yes, it is real. It is totally real.
Oh no! Is this Machamp one real, or is it like a giant barbell?
I'm almost positive it is, but let me see. I'm almost positive it is real.
Magmar one. That's kind of cool. The Alakazam one's a little silly.
Yeah, the Alakazam looks super weird. But I think Machamp is...
beard.
Yeah, the Mewtwo one, I finally found it. The Mewtwo Mega Evolution looks really weird. I don't know how to feel about it.
Let me look it up.
Super weird looking. But yeah, no, there's a lot of Mega Evolutions.
Ew, with the head tentacle. His tail moves from his butt to his head. Why?
I don't know.
Is it the wrong one?
So fun fact about Mega Evolution, yes. Charizard, because it was so popular, has 2 different Mega Evolutions, depending on which one you get. So it's got 2 different ones depending if you have X or Y. So if you have X, you get one of them, and if you have Y, you get the other one. So because it's so popular, they made 2.
Which one's better?
It depends on who you talk to. The typing is different. The one for X blue. You get. Yeah, that's the X one is Fire Dragon type, which is pretty awesome, but the Y one is Fire Flying as it originally is. It depends on who you talk to. Fire Dragon, the Charizard X one, it has better, I think, special attack, while the other one has better, like, normal attack, so it just kind of depends on how you want to play, I think. That's the only difference I saw. If you talk to certain nerds, they will probably tell you, like, this one has better stat growth, but I have no freaking clue. I know I sound like I know what I'm talking about, but I really don't. Yeah, I'm seeing.
I don't know how to put the Mega Evolution, because I feel like already Pokemon games for me. One thing, like, I liked them a lot. I liked acquiring Pokemon and growing them, but I never really liked the Pokemon combat that much, because it always just kind of felt like one really strong guy is going to take out, like, all the gym leaders' thing, because it's fire against all the leaf guys. I'm going to switch out maybe 1 or 2 guys alternatively, but it's already, like, too much putting, like, 1 star player. I like having, strong teams better.
Right. No, I totally understand. I went through Pokemon X, and I kind of got a little burnt out. I did finish it. I kind of had to drag through the end because I was so close to the end. I was like, come on, you're almost there. And I got through it. I almost freaking didn't make it through the last, like, Elite Four because
I frequently don't do that, and I feel bad. There's I'd say half the Pokemon games that I've played, I'll get to the Elite Four and be like, I don't feel like grinding, and just never play it again.
Pretty much, yeah. And I got through. I kind of did barely get through the Elite Four. I did almost die, only because this one Elite Four's Gyarados was, like, way too freaking strong, and all my Pokemon, like, the problem was that I had a Lamphros, I think it's called, which is, like, the most powerful.
One. It's like a giraffe electric kind of thingy.
Yeah, it's like a sheep kind of, but it's electric. It's one of the most powerful electric types, and that's usually would be good against Gyarados. This Gyarados knew Earthquake, so that was fun.
Why is that even a thing it can learn? Because it's a dragon? I don't know.
Because Gyarados is dumb. But anyway, and so I almost died simply because of that, because I had to use up, like, almost all my healing items. But luckily, the final, like, boss for the Elite Four was super easy, and so it died in one hit. That was, like, just one of them that was bad. But yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, no, I kind of had to force myself to play. X and Y has a really kind of a dark story, though. I know everybody I never played Black and White. That's the one, like, everyone raved about and said was so good. It came before X and Y. I never really got into it. I played X and Y in the story, mostly because I love the France setting, because it's like faux France. And you can, like, change your costumes and all these.
Oh,
it's actually really cool.
I like fashion. You could, like,
change your outfits. Yes, it was all about fashion stuff. And so I spent way too much money changing my hairstyle and buying new clothes. And just, like, changing my stuff. I spent way too much money on that. So, yeah, and they have, like a Paris kind of scene, which kind of weird to play, but a really pretty area. And, so that was cool, but, like, the story was actually kind of dark, because it kind of talked about, like, a war, and this guy with, like, his Pokemon who, like, almost died in the war. It was weird.
That's interesting.
It got kind of dark. Yeah, it got kind of a little dark. Pokemon stories are always kind of interesting.
Pokemon themselves, like, the slavery fighting, animal fighting, like...
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons why I kind of eye-rolled at Black and White, because Black and White had a whole thing where, like, apparently the storyline was you had a group of people that were, like, against Pokemon because it was, against Pokemon fighting, saying it was cruel, but it turned out they had evil intent. So you'd think that'd be a good thing, but, like, they had evil intentions, and so you're basically being like, no, Pokemon fights are totally fine. You're like, wait a second. So that was weird. But yeah, Pokemon. I can't believe I just spent like 20 minutes talking about Pokemon. Jesus.
I think that's everything from me though, news-wise. Anything?
Yeah, I don't know if I really have anything, unfortunately. Nope. I just saw something that said that Sony is apparently going to be announcing 7 new games next week, so...
Wow.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. The only thing I'm seeing that I'm curious about is something about a Shadow of a Colossus remake, which I heard rumors about, but I didn't know if they were actually going to do it. That's right, I did hear about it. I have a lot of mixed feelings about it. Not saying that Shadow of a Colossus is a perfect game. When I think about games I want to remake, it's not on my top priority list. Just because, like, I don't know, like, part of its charm was kind of the janky controls, and I think it's a game that was good in its time,
right.
And you can totally play, and maybe you won't like it because it's so old, and I totally understand that. I don't think I need it remade.
I feel that way about, like, GoldenEye or Jet Set Radio sometimes.
Yeah. GoldenEye would be one I don't think I'd ever want remade. Like, that would be weird to me.
Yeah.
That's too much in the whole, like, our obsession with nostalgia. I'm so sick of this nostalgia kick thing we're going through. I'm actually really sick of it. I'm like, just do new ideas. You're just feeding off of things that are just better left. There's a reason these things end.
Yeah.
But whatever. It is what it is, I guess. But yeah, no, otherwise, that's all I had to share. But otherwise, I didn't really find much, unfortunately, this week. It seemed kind of a weird week for stuff.
Yeah. I didn't spend a lot of time looking, but the little bit I saw was there's a lot of kind of like follow-up news stuff, like the plot thickens here or here. It's like, well, I'll just wait for the story to like finish. I don't want to like keep stringing it along, I guess. I don't know. Like, because the NeoGAF thing, there's a lot of the social harassment stories and that kind of stuff floating around. They're not super, they're bad and important, but they're not, I don't know, not compelling.
Right. I didn't read much about them, so I can't comment right now, but harassment is bad. There's my comment.
Strong stance.
There's my comment.
Let's see how it works out.
Very strong stance. I take a strong stance on this subject. Very political.
Bad things are bad.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
What are you doing next week? You're not going to be with us because you're going to be anime and conventioning it up.
I'll be conventioning it up. I'm hopefully going to be cosplaying as Kurisu from Steins Gate, because one of the voice actors from that anime is going to be at the convention, so that will be cool. I need to finish up her cosplay.
Do you get to wear a lab coat? I don't remember.
I could. I'm choosing to do a different outfit of hers that isn't the lab coat, but I may end up having to do that if I can't find this other stuff in time.
I kind of wanted to do the main character cosplay once, but I couldn't find a lab coat long enough. Because his lab coat's like ankle length, and lab coats are designed to be like knee length. So
yeah, you would be perfect. You have the body for that, because that'd be perfect. Yeah, that you could really work that. I would love to be Kurisu. I don't quite have the long enough legs for it, but I love her. So, and I also, my hair's kind of dyed red right now, which in the anime it's more brown in the original visual novel, but they made it red in the anime to make it stick out more, I think, to make it different, because otherwise the color palettes of the visual novel are not terribly interesting. No, everyone has realistic hair color. Everybody does. And so I guess in the anime they're like, we're gonna make her red. So So I actually have the correct hair color for the that. So I still need to find all the other rest of her. I have to basically find one of the coats. So I could do a lab coat if I really can't I want to do her brown coat thing that she does, which is getting really hard to find. But that's what I'm trying to do. So we'll see if that works.
Cool.
But, yeah, but that's, otherwise, I'm going to be, hopefully, it's going to be my brother's first convention ever.
Whoa.
So that's going to be fun. Yeah, I know. That's going to be fun. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to be doing up. And hopefully, there's some games I have on the docket that I need to finish and I haven't. So we'll see what I get to and when. There's a lot I need to do. I don't even know where to begin. I need to finish Amnesia, but I'm not sure if I'm going to do that right now. I might say that for like a...
Gotta finish it before Halloween ends.
Yeah, I could. No. The visual novel Amnesia.
Right.
Yeah. No,
I made a mistake every time you say it.
No, it's okay. I totally understand. I should actually do, I need to do a scary game for Halloween, but I haven't decided what I'm gonna do yet. So, we'll figure that out.
I've been trying to play creepy games all month, but my creepy threshold is very low, so they're not super creepy games, but they're relatively creepy games.
Are there any bad, my favorite part about Halloween is all the crappy, like, horror games that are on Steam, because there were so many last year. Are there a lot of crappy horror games on Steam? Because I need to look.
They are on Steam. I don't know if there's any like newcomers that really shine.
Okay.
But there are a bunch that are on Steam.
There were so many last year. It was amazing. I didn't play any of them except for one, but oh my gosh, they were so bad. It was amazing.
They're really easy to find too if you just like sort by price, because they know they're bad. So it's like, yeah.
Oh yeah. So often they're free too. They don't care. They're like trying to get it out there, which I that's fair, but it's so funny how bad some of them are.
Yep.
But anyway, what are you doing this week?
I will probably be playing more of the same games I did this week. I don't think there'll be anything new. Depending on how short Albert and Otto is, that might end and become something new, but I expect The Last Wind Monk will continue all through next week. And I'll keep playing Destiny 2. I'm not recording or streaming Destiny 2 at all, but I will be spending a lot of time playing it, probably.
Cool.
I could level cap this weekend. See what the end game kind of is like. Get bored, be done.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay.
Cool.
Do we have to do the thing that we hate?
If you want to. I don't think Sharon and I did it last week, where it's like, you know us, we're on YouTube and Facebook.
You guys, you know me, guys. If you don't remember me, because it's been 2 weeks, I'm Sarahscopic. I'm currently on hiatus, so there probably isn't anything new by the time you guys have this uploaded, but that's okay.
New stuff's in the works. There will be new stuff.
There will be new content. I just need to work on it, and we'll have a schedule soon once things kind of get less hectic in my life. Schedule. So, yeah, stuff and things.
Cool. Well, that was a good episode 119. Next week, it'll be
119.
Shar and I I have no idea if he wants to have a guest or not. But it'll be at least us two.
Well, I guess we'll find out. Yes, we'll find out. And then hopefully all three of us will be together next time.
Yes. That'd be great.
Woo!
Cool.
All right. Happy Halloween.
Bye.
Woo, bye.